What up, everybody? Today is October 13th, Friday the 13th. Uh, just week 10 of finding your way with Easy Win 123. Last week we gave Easy the homework of practicing timing his entries on the 1 minute when he sees the grade A setup on the 5 minute or on a larger time frame chart. So I have an example here pulled up where it's on the 5 minute and it's on the 10 SMA, the 10 SMA, which is his setup. When there's a 10 SMA is below the 50 SMA, pulls back up to the 10 SMA or the 50 SMA, and then enters short on an entry. So there's my 5 minute, and you can see I entered right almost perfect one tick below the pullback high. The pullback high being this green candle right here. So the way that I taught him to enter was one tick below that body or below the pullback high, but a break one tick below the body. So we've been practicing on how he could enter on the 1 minute, and most of the time that moving averages line up. Um, so if it's a 10 SMA on the 5 minute, it'll most likely line up with the 50 SMA on the 1 minute, which it did here. As you can see, there's my entry right there. There was a pullback high candle and it was green. That was the green doji candle. And then I entered right there, one tick below that green candle on the 1 minute. Uh, and still, you keep your same target on the 5 minute. Uh, on this one, I had locked in on this play. I had locked in 5 points up here because I was not expecting this big dump. So I locked in half the position at 5 points at the break of the VWAP, and then this happened, and I just closed it out on these two candles right here. Locked in another two, and then final lock in was there. What it did end up coming down to the 666, but hey, I'm happy with 10 points, 7 points. I'm more than happy, especially with eight contracts, about $1,200 if you're scaling out. Uh, so money can be made. It just me, I'm the type of person that doesn't like to get too greedy because I've been there. I've been the struggling trader. You know, when you're up 5 points, next thing you know, it reverses against your position, and next thing you know, you're red. So you go from green to red. I've been there so many times. I've struggled through that so many times, and that was one of the biggest reasons that we created this little subgroup was to. I know that a lot of us don't have friends, nearby that do trading. Uh, Especially me, I didn't have no friends. They'd rather be doing other stuff than making money. Um, but hey, I figured let's see if anybody's interested. We started a group with 10 members, and people were, I've seen that they started helping people. So then I kind of try to develop a system on how to help help people get out of a rut or get out of a, I've stopped a couple members from quitting. They're just on the verge of quitting. They blew up their third or fourth or fifth account and they were ready to throw in the towel. And it's like, dude, you're there. You just the biggest thing new traders struggle with is having a system or routine or strategy that stick to it. And I learned the hard way. I didn't have a system. I didn't journal. I didn't have any of that. So then that's how I kind of developed this little system. I said, okay, and it started helping me. I started being more consistent. Um, so we started out, we never really talk about traders mindset, and that's something that we kind of tend to just throw it aside and not think about it until you already blew up your account. And you're like, fuck, how come I keep blowing up my account? Why does this keep happening? That's because you don't have you may have had a trade plan, but you don't have a strategy or something to keep you from breaking your rules. So the number one thing that you should have is a rule set. You know, a trader's mindset rules, and then your trading strategy rules, and then you need to have both of them in line. You know, if you're woke up on the wrong side of the bed, you probably shouldn't be trading because your mind is not straight. And then if you don't follow those rules, but you follow your trade setup rules, you still might end up red because your mind is not right. But if you follow your morning routine, which the hour between the dog and the wolf taught us to have a physical routine, meaning whether you meditate, you work out. The workout doesn't have to be like, oh, I'm gonna go to the gym for 2 hours and pump out a freaking 250 pounds. It's not. What I do is I meditate 15 minutes, and then I do calisthenics. Push-ups, jumping jacks, leg lifts, and I walk or I jog. That's it. And then I jump in a either cold body shower or I jump in the pool, and it just helps me clear my head, one track mind to keep you um on target to trade. Uh, so easy, figure that out. Lasagna can't figure that out. If you don't have a system or a strategy, and even if you break one of your rules, you're probably gonna not have a good trading day. Uh, so we've come through that. Added a couple strategies to Easy's or setups to Easy's strategy. It seems to be working out pretty well. So now we're working on timing. Timing is entries. Like I said, the moving averages will always line up with each other. They might not be exact, but one of the biggest things that you can do is say you see the 5 minute. So you're on the 5 minute and your play is a 50, right? Your 50 is right there and you want to see a pullback. So I'll just mark a line right there. If it
Yeah.
wants to cooperate with me.
Something that I wanted to add to your morning routine, Semper.
Yeah, go ahead.
Like doing the morning routine, like I said before, right? Every morning when I wake up, I put that song that I'm listening to that help me meditate, But what it does for me is that it keeps me in check, knowing what's ahead or what's coming during the day. It keeps you in check and then it helps you following your rules. Like I put on the song, I listen to it, I meditate. So in my mind, when I'm trading, I know I already did something that's part of my rule. Like, did I meditate today? Yes, I did. Then in that case, I know I'm in the right direction. Not that, oh, I'm jumping ahead on a trade. So far, I'll say I've been following it to the T. Every morning I listen to that song, meditate for exactly 4 minutes. And then after that, I start doing, I'll say, some crazy mumbo jumbo moves, whatever, just to activate my metabolism. And then after that, I finish it off with that cold water, like most probably on my face, on my head. If not, it's going to be a cold shower. So that's how it's helping me.
Yeah, it definitely helps. Um, any routine that you have, it helps. Whatever your routine is, stick to it. Don't deviate from it because treat it like a job. When you go to work, what do? You clock in, you sit down at your office, you check your emails, and then you
Test, test.
respond to emails. I got you. Whoever's testing.
Okay, thank you. I was wondering. Yep. Okay. Where are you guys? Because I'm trying to figure out. So I heard you say you wake up at 3:30. Where are you that you wake up that early?
I'm in California.
Okay. Because I'm in Hawaii.
Oh, so yeah, you're probably waking up at midnight.
So I don't play the pre-market, but I'm trying to come up. I don't mean to interrupt you, but I'm trying to come up with a system so that I can do what you guys do. And I had done day trading previously, but I'm looking at your screen now, and I just asked a question. So this is the one on the Elites Trading Program. I think are you Semperfi?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm Calcino Canelo. So I'm going to retire in the Navy in about 3 or 4 months, and I've done standard deviation trading with Connor way back and been successful. But I like the future situation, and you guys seem to have a good community here. So I've got learn all of these, all of the lines. I see you got all the dash lines and the blue lines. I'm trying to figure out. I'm assuming you said they were all SMAs. So I don't mean to jump in on going on your morning routine, but I've been, I'm trying to get it together, brother.
Yeah. That's what we're here for.
Okay.
The one major benefit about futures, and that's what totally flipped my trading, was trading has, or futures has the power to grow your small account and 3 times it in a month.
Right. I saw that. But isn't there a way you have to buy it and there's a strike price and a premium? And I'm trying to learn because I never traded. All I've done is like longer swing trades and day trades. And I watched the videos but it's so how come Connor used to give out stocks tips, or not tips, but so he says, oh yeah, it's gonna move up, and so yeah, I see the SPY moving up. I can read all your stuff. I know what's going on, but he doesn't say, well, put money in Apple. Like he doesn't say anything. So because he stopped doing that, I guess.
Yeah, he stopped probably like a year ago. After he had a bad loss.
Yeah, I saw that. I was there on that loss. I was deployed at the time, and I was there, and I saw. I'm like, oh, we lost some big money. But yeah, so that's what I figured. I figured he was afraid to sort of say stuff because he doesn't want to. I get it, but they don't. There's no one says anything like, oh, go on Apple, pick Microsoft, or like today I saw Coca-Cola and Pepsi are both way down on the standard deviation. They're -3 and 4, both of them, right? But it doesn't match the system of what he's saying, right? And so I'm trying to figure out, because like you could, is it a swing trade? Because obviously Coca-Cola is not going to day trade because there's no volume there, right? But is it a good swing trade? Because both of them are way down on the deviation, like way down. And so I'm trying to figure out. So you can see I got a decent background, right? I don't know how to trade options at all. I'm at stage 0. Right. So I'm going to try and that's what I'm here to do. So I'm trying to figure it out. I see all this stuff happening and I just want to do exactly what you said. You can build your small account. I have a small account and I want to see. So I've been playing paper money since October.
That's awesome, dude.
I'm already up $2,000.
but trade, if you're going to paper trade with what your real account is going to be when you start trading. First off,
that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to see if I had, because it's at 72,000 on the paper. So if I put down $50,000, can I make picks and can I be profitable? And again, I might go less. So I'm looking at futures and I'm looking at your guys' system. I'm looking here. I'm looking up right now. So I see it. So let's switch back.
Futures is not like options. There's no premium. There's nothing.
Okay.
It's like a stock, but trades like an option. It's weird. Like every tick, you know how you trade a stock, every little tick on the stock is 1 penny, right?
Right.
On futures, every tick is $1.25 if you're trading the micro. If you're trading the mini, it's $12.50 for every tick.
Can you get in and out quickly? Like, can you say I want in, I want out, in and out, in and out? Like
if you're using NinjaTrader, yes. And if you would have seen how Easy's first trade chart was, he got in and out like every freaking minute.
Okay, so
that was in the past. That was in the past.
I bought a bunch of stuff, so I have the Elites thing. So I'm looking at the Elites training program, and I'm going to go through all of that. The first, I literally just started, and I'm going to go through and set up my Ninja thing so I can, like the one that's on screen right now, right? So that's what I need to do. That's first step for me, is make my screen look like your screen. And I have enough intelligence that I can figure it out because I had my TOS set up pretty good. And so I make this, and then you guys communicate on your entrance, right? And so does it futures market, does it same as a stock market hours or not so much?
No. Futures is open from Sunday at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to the next Monday, or to Monday at 2 p.m. And then it closes for an hour and it opens back up at 3 p.m. and then it starts trading again.
Oh, but all the I think majority of the activity takes place during regular trading hours.
Sometimes
Okay.
you'll come to see that there's some other trader calls them kill zones. There's the European kill zone where there's action there, like in the middle of the night. There's action in futures. Like it's perfect for you since you're in Hawaii and you have like odd hours. You're not like waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning or whatever. You have different time zones. So figure out those time zones. There's a European called kill zone. Then there's a New York AM kill zone, and then there's a New York PM kill zone, which is pretty much opening, like an hour or two in the opening, and then there's an hour or two at the closing. And then there's a Japan kill zone, which is like I think
it's behind or something.
I think it's like 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I can get that for you, but there's futures. That's the power of futures, is that you can trade it pretty much 23/7 or 23/6.
Okay.
There are some nuances though. Like if you don't have a capital in your account and you have, like, let's just say you have less than $1,200 and you're playing the micro, which is one $50 margin, all you have to have is $50 margins to be able to trade during the day. But once it hits 1:45 p.m., 15 minutes before it closes, they're gonna margin call you because you don't have the actual you don't have the $1,200 to cover the maintenance.
Right.
But if you have that in your account, you can swing trade futures.
Okay, so going back to some specifics. So I saw you post today because I've been getting up early at 4 a.m. here in Hawaii, and so I saw you the last 2 days you posted some winnings, right? I saw you.
Yep.
Right. Okay. Then if you don't mind me asking, so what did you play? How did it go? What happened?
I played ES. I only play ES or MES, which is the micro of ES.
Okay.
When I first started, I started out with $600, grew up the account to 12 grand, blew it up. Started over again, $600, grew it up to 8 grand, blew it up. Started again, grew up to 6 grand, blew that up, and then finally I was like, I fucking had it. I can't take building up my account, even though I only lost $1,800. Even though I only lost a total of $1,800 out of my pocket.
Yeah, but you had all the money. Yeah.
Yeah, I had all the money and I lost it. I was like, fuck, I'm tired of that shit. So
but you didn't want to take some out and put it in your bank and just play, quote unquote, play with less.
Well, I pull the money out and I go long-term invest it. I go put my money into long-term investment where dividend stocks. I've learned my lesson after burning my hand 3 times. But the first off, to get NinjaTrader, you can either go through a prop firm like Easy and a couple of other guys, where you pay whatever. If you want a $50,000 account, you can pay $50 a month plus $150 activation fee. You could go that route. Just know that there's certain rules that they have that might restrict you from being able to build up your account, which is fine. Or you can just buy the lifetime license, which gives you the best commission.
Yeah, I saw that.
You can buy that, and then, like me, that's what I did. I created about 20 demo accounts on NinjaTrader because I just had to create a new email, so I could just paper trade on it. After that, I said, fuck it, I'm just gonna pay the $1,200 to buy the license, and then it's gonna force me to trade, right? I don't want to waste $1,200 on the license and not even use it.
Right. You want to trade daily or every other day or something.
It was kind of like a mental psychology trick to force me to actually trade. So then I did that.
Right. Okay, so the setup for what you're talking about, is that on? Are you guys familiar? Did you guys use the elite training program that I have here from Connor's website?
Yeah, we all started there, and we applied the fundamentals. So the elite trading program, just go through like the first 15, 20 videos
Yep.
to learn the trend lines, to learn the moving averages,
Right.
learn volume, and then
Yep.
and then just search futures, and then futures. There'll be like 2 or 3 videos. Well, there's 4 or 5 videos on the bottom, way down in the bottom. There's futures.
Yeah, there's a lot of option stuff. I see Dave Hahn's option stuff.
Yeah, that's totally different. That's strictly options.
Yeah, no, I want to do futures. I want to do what you're doing.
Futures, which is cool about it, it links to SPY, and it helps you just focus on one ticker. And that's one of the things that a lot of new traders struggle with is like they're trying to go in the chat room and somebody's trading Apple and somebody's trading Coca-Cola, somebody's trading Nvidia, and the new traders trying to chase what stock to trade. And it's like, no, dude, you need to freaking focus on one stock. Learn every stock has a characteristics. Every stock, every ticker,
yes, right. Which is why I think Connor stopped doing that. He just he says what's happening in the market, and then he leaves the pick up to the person.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
that's what I figured.
Like Brandon's style of trading or of training us is to teach us the fundamentals of his system, and then you can apply that system to anything, to stocks, to options, to futures.
Right. So that's what I'm trying to do too. Yeah. Okay. Good. I'm tracking. But again, like you were saying, getting a morning routine and then being able to, I gotta, you know, I'm military, bro. I got morning routine forever.
Yeah. So it's already ingrained in us. So that's what I took. So I took that. I took the principles that we were taught in the military, and I was like, there's a reason why the military has a routine every fucking day. There's a reason why they do cold body showers. There's a reason why they do all. There's a reason behind it. And I was like, oh shit, let me just fall back to that routine that we always used to do, and then I'm gonna create a system past that on the trading side. And that's that's what
I did with the day trading. And to be honest, I was successful. But now day trading, you can't win at that game because getting the stocks to go up and down, it's harder now that, no offense about anyone's political thing, but now that Biden is president, the stock market is way different. When Trump was president, it was booming, bro. I can show you the screenshots. I was making minimum $200 a day, and many times I would go $500 a day on all kinds of different stocks. You can't do that now. The risk is too high and it's not worth the play.
Yep. And that's the power. That's the power of futures. You can
exactly. That's what I figured out. I'm like, okay. Then I saw you, and I'm like, okay, this guy kind of knows what he's talking about. He said yes. So thank you guys for being on. Again, I'm going to look through all the stuff that I can. You know, I'm willing to spend some money. And by the way, I was a broker. I was a broker for a living before I joined the military.
Yep.
So I know a little bit, but most of the stuff that I learned, I was a broker. That's mostly laws. That's all that is.
Yeah.
I learned most of what I would consider the details of trading from watching Connor stuff. And I watched him on YouTube we're talking about 2019, 2020.
Yep.
I watched him for like 6 months, and everyone was coming on YouTube back then. I watched Warrior Trading. I watched all of them. But no one made sense except this young kid from Michigan. I'm like, this dude is calling it. And he was calling it. It was unbelievable. His batting average was something like 75, 80%. It was unbelievable. And I'm like, so then I went and bought his system. His initial standard deviation program, I paid $200 or $199 or whatever the heck it was, and I bought it, and that's how I learned. And I put it all together in Thinkorswim before he gave all the freebies away. And so that's where a lot of this. And then he was on Discord, and I've been in and out. That's hard. If you've been deployed, it's hard. Sometimes you're deployed. Yeah. So I'm trying to, this is what I want. I would actually love to go and do this for a living. So when you say you played ES, right? Because I think I asked that question initially. So those are just, what is that? That's not a stock. That is a futures contract of what? Or does it even matter?
Yeah, it mimics SPY. So it links to SPY. That's why when we trade ES, we're looking at SPY.
Gotcha. And what basically is it though? What is ES saying? Is a bunch of stocks smushed together?
I don't even know, to tell you the truth. But all I know is that it mimics SPY and it's the future contract. So how can I explain it? Can anybody jump
Okay, so
in? Chime in?
so you play the ES based upon what's going on in the SPY and Connor's thing and Brandon's thing on where the SPY is going to go if it hits this point, like today. Like, what's the last thing that he posted on Twitter? I saw, right? Using the 6-6 system, a 4-hour, right? And it hit this point, and then go short basically, or go. I forgot what it says, but go short based upon the fact that once it breaks through that, it's going to start coming down, and going to go down whatever from 490 to 430, whatever it is, right? Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. So it went up to when it broke. I'm not sure what that white line was. It broke the 430 point, was over, and then it hit that other red line, and then it started dropping, and then you should go short. That's a possible play. So for you guys, you do a futures play. You say it's going to go short. You buy at whatever 431.50, and you want it to go down, and then at some point, so you buy a short, and then when it goes down to from 431 down to 430, and then you sell it, and then you make your money. Okay, all right, I'm getting it.
Yeah.
And so you played this. So you had your what do you want? I think you got what, 1,400 today. What'd you get? You got pretty good money yesterday. I think you made $3,000, right?
Yep.
Okay, so you played $3,000 on ES. How much did you put in, if you don't mind me asking? Because this is where I'm trying, and I appreciate anything you tell me, because I'm like, I need help.
This guy wants to learn. He wants to learn.
So how much did you? So your $3,000 that you posted there on the Discord, I saw it. How much did you put in? $5,000, $10,000, 200?
It doesn't matter. Like, you have to have, like, for ES, you need to have $500 per contract in your account to be able to trade. So if I trade with 10 contracts, I just put up $5,000.
Gotcha. Okay.
Even though it's like margin. So I put up $5,000 of margin, right?
Right, because then at the end of the day, if you don't have it, they ask for your money.
Yep. So at the end of the day, that'll actually be like 12 times 50. So it'll be like $70,000 that I'll need to have in my account. If I trade.
But you just put up 3.
What do you mean?
Right, I'm looking at your thing right now.
No, that's when it closes, you need to have 12,000 per contract. Okay,
but that's what I'm saying. So how many? The one that I saw you today, you posted with 3,000. How many contracts did you write? So I'm looking at one right now. At 4 a.m., you made $1,200 today.
Yep.
Right.
That was with 8 contracts.
So you bought eight contracts, and again, like you said, it doesn't matter because you have. So I'm making up the numbers. So if I have $5,000 in my account, I buy 8 contracts, and then
you'll need to have a little bit more. You'll need to have more than, like, say you only have $5,000. I recommend you only trade with 4 contracts.
Gotcha.
Because if it goes against you, you have a bigger buffer, a bigger cushion. Because if you put $4,000, if you buy.
And Pete made 555. What up, Pete? Pete the cat. I don't know if he's on, but I see his is right above you, 555.
Yep. Yeah, hey man.
So like, you only like for MES micro contracts, $50 a contract. If you trade 10 contracts, you need to have $500. $500 in your account. But I recommend you have like 1,000. So like that, if it goes 5 points against you, you don't get margin call.
Right.
So you're putting that money up, but it's only costing me $12 per contract to actually get in. Know what I'm saying? So my commission.
But your risk, you're preparing that if it goes bad on you, you don't have to quote. Margin call you can buy by the end of the day. But I'm just saying so. If it goes down and it goes against you, you have the thousands of dollars that required to cover
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
because you lost. And if you didn't lose, which you didn't, because you got 12 and P got 5.
Yeah.
So you guys win, right? So you take your
Yep.
money, you sold your thing, and you're out, like you said, one trade.
Yep.
And see, that's kind of what I'm looking to do. And so I'm going to go and learn the specifics, but I'm trying to get the overview. So basically, you're using this system that that is on the screen now, and you're buying and selling based upon what some of the things that Conan and Brandon are talking about, or you can just do it on your own on the SPY, right? There's a hits the 431 or whatever it hits, and then that's a signal without a confirmation to either sell or buy. And then based upon how many confirmations you want, you might need 1 or 2 for it to hit the SMA or the VWAP or whatever it's going to hit. And when it does that, and you go, you're thinking it's going to break out, so you buy, right? And then if it goes up, you sell, and then you win, you get money. And if it goes down, you lose and you owe money. Yep. And you're just playing, basically, you're playing one stock.
Yeah, so you owe whatever, like, so if it goes, one contract on micro for one, if it goes down 1 point, remember, on futures, 1 point on SPY is 10 points on futures. So you're leveraging. So that's the options part. That's kind of like options, where it leverages 1 point on futures is 10 points on 1 point on SPY is 10 points on futures.
Gotcha.
So you're gonna make almost double what you can on any stock, no matter what you trade, because every tick. Remember, I said every tick is $1.25. It's not a penny.
Right. Different. That's a big difference. Okay, so now here's the big question. So you've been using this system and doing these things for a while. How do you like it?
I love it.
Because I already know Connor's good. I mean, his stuff has been spot on. I mean, have you made money? Are you up? If you discount the 3 blows up that you did, how are you doing now? Let's say in the last 3 months.
This was the most profitable year that I've ever had.
Wow.
3 years ago, I was break even. Last year, I made like 22 grand. This year, I'm above 500K.
Holy shit. Excuse me. Good job, bro.
But trust me, I struggled so much that I wanted to stop struggling for you guys, to teach you guys, because Brandon and Connor will teach us a strategy, right? But they didn't really so much tell us like, okay, this is how you apply it.
Yes, so right. That's the big missing picture right now. This is why I'm in here.
Each of us in this group, or anybody who stops by, some of us have been coming here for like the last year. I started this group last October or last September. So it started off like a little private group of elite members only. And then, hey, it seems like this little group is working. Let's open it up to everybody in the elite system. But each of us learned the fundamentals from Brandon and Connor.
Yep.
And each of us have a different strategy. Like easy strategy is Connor's 1050, the 10 SMA crossing the 50 SMA. So he liked that.
Right.
And
yeah. So
you said you like the standard dev, so I was like, okay,
I like the standard dev. That stuff works good. I made money.
That's one strategy that we haven't gone through in this Finding Your Way series. Lasagna Cat, he loved the fibs. Because like I always say every week, is you're gonna find a system that you resonate with and that helps your eyes see the chart better, whether it's moving averages, fair value gap. Fair value gap is not a boiler room trading. It's just a YouTuber that I found that it makes sense. There's a 2-legged pullback that helped me with my entries. The fibs. What I'm trying to say is you're gonna find a strategy or something that I call training wheels. The reason why I call them training wheels is because we all trade with indicators or some sort of a system, right? The way that normal professional traders, they only use charts. only use a naked chart, and I'm sure they use other stuff too. But a real trader would only use price action, and there's even price action traders. You know, I've studied that too, and they make sense too. So I took whatever Brandon and Connor taught us, and I'm looking at certain nuances that I had trouble with. So I went on YouTube, researched some stuff, and I was like, okay, that makes sense. It's a little bit different, but they all line up. Like Brandon's system lines up with Connor's standard def system. Standard
Yes.
def system lines up with the 1050 cross or the 10 SMA, 50 SMA moving average system. And those line up with the hidden fib system. And those line up with the regular fib system. They all make sense. You just gotta find something that helps you look at the chart. And if you're winning, stick to it. And then I started this group on how do you actually apply that system. So like Lasagna Cat, he liked the fibs. So we use the fibs on teaching them how to use it and how to create a system. And not only that, but how to create a rule set. Because you want to have rules.
Yes.
And one of the biggest things that I've been telling Easy and Lasagna Cat is you have to narrate the system. Or, I mean, you have to narrate just like Brandon. You know, in the morning he's narrating. Okay, this might happen. You know, if this happens, this is gonna happen. If that happens, then this might happen. That helped him, and I noticed that it helped him kind of just like keep his nerves and his like just stay calm. So I was like, okay, I'll start doing that. So I started with the fibs because Susan, one of the elite members, introduced the fibs, and I was like, huh. So I used the fibs to help out my entry and my pretty much give you a trading plan right there in the screen without you having to be like, okay, this is gonna be my stop and this is gonna be my target. With the fibs, you can use, okay, my stop is below the 23%, my target is the 161.
Yeah.
So then
Yeah.
I got rid of it. I've evolved. I used to use all kinds of moving averages, the 9 crossing the 21, the 10, the 50-50 cross. I used to use all kinds, and I was like, oh shit, this is way, and it helped me, for a while, and then I was like, okay, I don't need that no more. I'm slowly removing indicators. Slowly removing indicators, as I'm just going back to what I know now. So now it's
see,
like
when I joined the group, this is Lasagna Cat here. I knew that I liked fibs, and there was certain price action things that made sense to me, that like resonated to me, but I didn't really know how to put it all together. I was kind of sitting there like, damn, I know all this shit about trading. Like I know so much about it, but like I don't know how to put it together practically. And like that's where Semper and this group like helped me out like so much. So like if you like standard dev, then it's kind of a matter of like is there a specific setup on standard dev do you like? Are there certain like other indicators that you are comfortable using in conjunction with that to develop a specific setup, you know, something along those lines?
Yeah, the SMAs. I like the SMAs and the VWAPs. I like those.
Yeah.
But I don't know how to do the anchor VWAPs and you know, because I tried to do it on Thinkorswim and they just give you the one. And I guess you can change the time setup in the other thing, but they don't it's unusual. They don't have they didn't have the anchor VWAP. And I think he does a 1 month one and he does a daily one, but I'm assuming he just changes the time period on that.
Yeah, he uses TradingView for his anchor VWAP, and like since you're getting used to that, I would say avoid that for now. Like concentrate on your standard dev and your moving average, and for sure use something that's helped this group a lot is the RSI and MACD. And
I see it on your thing. I see it on your screen
RSI,
here.
RSI, MACD, and volume. Add those 3. Those
I got it. I'm looking at your screen. I used to have them on underneath my standard deviations.
We will help you laser that in using those systems. You'll find on YouTube, if you go on YouTube, they're like, don't use RSI, don't use MACD because they're lagging indicators. But Brandon has taught us how to use them to forecast potential moves. Not predict, but forecast. The reason why I say forecast is because a weatherman, right? A weatherman is always wrong, but he's also always right because he's forecasting today is going to be cloudy. Well, no shit, the clouds are out, right? Tomorrow is going to be rainy. Why? Because he's using his whatever tools that he uses to forecast that rain might be coming tomorrow, and it might rain on the other side of town, but it's not going to rain on your part of town. It's like, okay, so we forecast, and the way that Brandon forecasts is okay. He gives us 3 scenarios. If it goes this to this level, then this might happen. If it goes to this other level, then this might happen. And if it goes to here, then it's probably going to be stagnant or it's going to be sideways. And that's what he's using. He's using stuff to forecast. So in this group, some of us, like you, I want you to kind of go through this series, and we can help you go through it and solidify your trading. And
Yeah, I need to feel a bit more confident, but I'm gonna go through the videos. Like I said, I never traded. So
you're good. You're good. Just stop by, ask questions, share your trades, and just soak in as much as you can, because right here, this group is kind of what shows you how to apply your strategy.
Yeah.
The correct way, and not apply it the correct way, but actually teach you, okay, how to create rules. And you want to follow your rules because, as Lasagna Cat and Easy have probably said in the last couple of meetings, is when they break their rules is when they trade goes against them.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And like through the process of like, you know, going through this with other people, you can figure out like what kind of rules you need to set to that go with your own personality. You know, like for example, like even though I've made so much progress, I still sometimes break my rules. And this sounds a little stern, but I used it this week and it's good. If I break my rules, I'm not allowed to trade the next day. It's just like, sorry, yeah, it's like you are benched, like you cannot trade. Sorry. So I did that for myself today, and I was like, holy shit! Like I feel so much more grounded now because I know that I have that guardrail because I know I want to trade. And so if I don't follow my rules, I'm benched. Like I gotta take a time out. You know what I mean?
So now, give me one of your rule examples. Like you're talking about stop outs when to leave, take profit. I mean, give me someone throw out a rule that's part of your system.
I mean, I've got a ton. So it's like, for my main setup, it's a going long setup. I know exactly what the price action needs to do for me to come in. So it needs to do a big dump down to like a key support level.
Right.
Price action needs to dump down, show a true high or low off of that support. And then I wait for a second one. And that second one should ideally come down to a moving average, or a fib level, ideally both, and also ideally the 50 RSI. And then it needs to show a little bit of price action momentum called a leg entry so I can make my entry. And that's a lot of criteria, but it's also not. It's really only like 3 or 4 things.
It's not a lot of criteria because we've taught Lasagna Cat and Easy to create the rule as a question, but that question is like a script. You know, I want to see a big dump. Do I see a big dump? Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So
do I see a
speaking of that,
right
now on your screen, right? So I see it moving towards, I don't know what line that is, but off that line earlier today, it hit that line and then it bounced up 3 green candles. Right. Go back.
Uh-huh.
No. Further up, it's like the 5th candle from where it is right now. You see it dropping. That red candle. Right, it's gonna hit that line. Now go back about 5 to where the little red guy. Go back. Right. No, forward. What is it? It's right there where you just crossed it.
The doji.
Go back again. Go back 1. Go back 2. Go back to that one right there. You see what it tapped? The next one over.
Oh, this one.
Right there. See, it hit that line and then it went 3 candles up. So to me. Now, again, so right there, you see it tag that line. And so to me, is it going to go is it going to start going green? Which it does. You see it. It's going green right now.
Yeah.
Based upon that tag. Again, I don't know what line, what that line is.
That's a Bollinger Band.
Bollinger, okay. So you got that line. So now after it tagged that line, which it just did earlier today, it's now it's going green again. So so again, I'm like you. I don't know who was speaking before, but that's a rule. Like maybe you would need a secondary confirmation, but maybe not, right? So look.
Yeah.
So now, if you happen to say that's your mark and you went in, now it's going green, and so now for you to stay, it has to pass. Let's say that blue line, whatever that is. That what? Yeah. What is that? What is that line at?
That was just a level that I had marked for easy from the 50 SMA on the 5 minute.
Right. So I don't know if that's your mark. You should. So this is this is a rule. So we were talking about rules, and you gave your rule. I forgot. I think it was Pete the Cat that was talking, or Lasagna. Right. So yeah. So it goes down. Right, and hit that thing. Now, if you timed it right, right now you're up. Now I don't know. Again, 12 contracts. I don't know all the details of that, but I just know a green candle is good. I know that if you're buying, right? So, and then what's your sell point, right? Where do you get out? And you told me that there's no it's not like pattern day trading, right? So you could sell right now. So it went from whatever that mark was. What is that? That line mark was 430. Yeah. So 430, 50. Right. So where is it at? So right now, let's say your mark is the dotted line.
Yeah, the 50 SMA.
Yeah, the 50 SMA. So right there. So right there. So how much money do you make? And I guess I know it's how. So let's say you bought one contract at the starting point, and now that's the ending point is where you're at 4.
That'd be 9 points. That'd be $450 for one contract.
Right. So to me, that would be something that again, that was just, I haven't studied it. I haven't done anything, but that would be a thing, right? So if I was playing the game right now and I had some money in there, I was looking at that because that's exactly what I saw. I saw that it had bounced there before. And if you go even further back, it bounced again on that same 50 SMA. It bounced again at the 43.45 point, right? That little green zone. So it bounced there, 1, and then it bounced there, 2, and then so that was my play. It's gonna bounce there, 3. And now right now it's at 43.59, and I would have made X amount of dollars, right? Like you just at 400, whatever it is. So boom, I'm out. I got my money. I'm out. So the situation I just described to you is that could have actually taken place?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. This is awesome. Thank you, guys.
And the other thing that you'll come to realize is you're gonna be a long player or you're gonna be a short player. Don't try to do both. Easy in the beginning, like when Lasagna went through the series, he was a long player. He knew it. He knew he was a long player, and he sucked at, just like me. I suck at shorting, but not no more. I've gotten a lot better.
Yeah, I'm not that good at shorting. I made some money, but not a lot.
See, so like easy. I'm glad that he's going through this series because he's a short player. He can see short plays. In the beginning, he's like, "Nah, I'm a long and a short." But 2 weeks into it, I said, "Dude, you're a short player, dude. You see short plays a lot better." And I can just see it because when you go through the series, we have a private chat where, hey, it's just me and you and one of like Lasagna Cat, and we share our trades and we say, hey, this is what I'm trading, and we walk you through and I started to see, okay, you're getting burned on your long plays, but your short plays are playing out pretty damn good. So the next recap, I was like, hey, dude, you're a fucking short player. You're not a long player. He's like, yeah, I think I couldn't realize that. And I told him, okay, let's just concentrate on your short game. Let's laser that shit in. Because there's always going to be a play for both sides, for a short player and a long player.
Yep.
One day, if it's in a long trend player is going to have more plays. But a short player, he can counter trend trade and catch like 5 to 6 points, which that's a lot of money in futures. You might not think it's a lot of money, but it can be. And
it can be. Well, so on that call that I just made, it actually did that. It went if you bought at the 50 SMA, it went to 43.59, right? So right there would have been a play. I mean, it now it's trying to rebuild, but right there someone could have played that, and now I think I personally think it's gonna go up to the blue mark that you have, because there's another, I don't know what SMA is right above that, just slightly above the blue line that you have up there. At 463.94, it'd be through 463.95. There's a beige line there, and I'm not sure.
Yeah,
But
right
again, yeah. No, down one. There's a right there, right there's that. But look above that. There's a little line right there, 460. So that's what I'm saying is that that's where I thought it was gonna go. But if it was me, if I was playing this trade right now, I would have sold it, because my original guess was it was gonna go to that dotted line. Based upon the previous one, right? If you look back about 7 candles, that's where it went. It went right to the top right there. It went to the blue line that you drew. And so that's right. So, so that's kind of how I played. I'm looking at all the different confirmations now. I don't know if I would have played it, but to me, originally it looks pretty good because of the history of things. When I'm looking at the original 50 SMA, I think is that bottom mark. It hit once, right? Hit once, it hit twice, and then I was playing it on the third try. So yeah. And that, to me, that's kind of good. I mean, yeah, you're right. I like this better than day trading Apple or Nvidia or whatever it is, right? This seems a little bit. You don't have to follow all the stocks as much. If you just follow the SPY, if you just follow the SPY, and you get pretty good at determining what's happening via what Brandon then put out, some of these markers, you can just play this. You can keep playing these ESs and you said MSs, and you can make money.
That's it. And then everything else follows ES. Like, I mean, the SPY, like Apple will follow it, Tesla will follow it, Nvidia will follow it. So focus on one thing, get good at it.
That's definitely what futures helps. And I noticed that when I started, because I used to trade Beyond Meat. And I was like, okay,
BYND.
Let me just concentrate on one stock. And that's what I asked Brandon. I said, I'm just gonna concentrate on one stock, and I'm gonna learn the characteristics. When I say characteristics, it does have characteristics like Tesla likes to bounce off the 420 SMA. It just has characteristics, and even SPY. That's when we get into the market psychology part of stuff. Is okay. Is it going up before data comes up? Okay, then that means that there's a potential that most likely that data is going to be bad for the market and it's going to shoot it down. So they're controlling it. That's where you can see the manipulation. Is okay. So data is going to come out at 5:30. Let me see what price action looks like before 5:30, so I can try to forecast what price action might do after data comes out. And that's where you kind of get to see the characteristics of futures, ES or SPY or Apple. Like if Apple has earnings, okay, it's running up, okay, then it's probably going to dump after earnings. And it all makes sense. You're like, oh shit. And when you start to see the manipulation, and it's crazy because it kind of cascades into the news, right? So you're like you're fucking on the internet, and you're watching financial news, right? And you start to see all these headlines, like, oh, it's gonna be a soft landing, or okay, so that means they're kind of getting greedy, right? But if they're like, oh fuck, this is gonna be the worst recession ever, this is gonna be worse than the Great Depression, what are they trying to do? They're trying to instill fear.
Yes.
100%. What does Warren Buffett say? Be fearful when people are greedy. Be greedy when people are fearful. So when the news is trying to create fear, that's time to get greedy. When news is being greedy, then it's time to be fearful.
Yep.
And all comes into play into the market, and you start to fucking see it in the whole grand scheme of things. You're like, oh shit! Now I know how the government is manipulating the market. And you're like, fuck, and then you're like, whoa, this is way like people, normal people don't understand it. You're like, oh, this is bullshit. They're saying
Yeah.
it's the Great Depression. You're like, dude, you don't even understand. You don't want me to get into it, but I can, I can tell you what might happen. And but once you start to see the characteristics of the play or the stock or the future or whatever it is, you're like, oh, okay, now you're trying to see the manipulation of the whole damn thing. And that's when you get good. But hey, right here, we gotta go jump back into Easy's recap, and then we can ask questions after. But we're here every Friday, unless I'm sick. Sometimes I'll ask Lasagna Cat to lead it, and he'll lead the meeting. But we're trying to be here every Friday for like new traders or members that have been struggling and
Every
have
Friday at
questions.
what time?
Have questions. 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We start the
Okay.
meeting and the recording at 11:30. But we
Okay.
have like a pre-meeting chat, so like we have any random questions, we can answer those, and then after the recap, we can jump back into Q&A.
Okay, good. Thank you guys for everything. I'm gonna go and learn a little bit more about futures, so
Yeah, for sure, man.
my questions aren't as lost. I'm sorry, I'm a little lost. I'm
Oh,
learning.
you're
So
good. Hey, you're
appreciate
good, man. You're good. We're here to help you, and I mean, if you're interested in joining the series, we have a couple of the candidates. So if you want to, you have a different system because we haven't had a standard dev. We haven't had counter bands or anything like that. We haven't had a couple of other strategies that we learned here at Elite, and I kind of want to get one finding your way series of each strategy, so like that we can prove that the system that I kind of created to apply that strategy works for any type of strategy. And yeah, we're just here to help. So whenever you have questions, I'm always available. You could DM me or you can ask me in the chat. Don't matter. I'll answer. I'm not.
Just tag him.
Yeah, just tag me.
Okay.
And I'll try to do my best to answer that question. If I don't know, I will find out and I will let you know. Because
on the social media thing, I'm on nothing.
now neither am I. I'm only on Discord, so
Yeah, I don't have Instagram. I don't have Facebook.
I have
I
that
don't. I
stuff,
mean,
but I'm not really that active on it. But
I don't have. I don't have any.
if you're an elite member and you're you got access to the Discord, you just DM me,
Okay.
and I'll help you out.
But you can Google me. You guys would be very surprised, I think, if you Googled me.
We'll do that after. See what's up.
That's good.
But hey, Easy, when you're ready, you can share your screen and you can jump into your
Yeah.
recap.
Appreciate you guys' time. I'm here. I'm still listening.
All right, for sure, man. Take it easy.
Let me just get share screen. This will stop sharing screen. Do you want to continue? Yes. Which screen am I sharing? Screen number dos or unos? Screen number dos. Can you see my screen? Yeah, okay, I can. Yeah. Perfect.
Yes. See it.
All right. Just give me 1 second. I had reloaded while you guys were talking, whatever. I had my C set up on the 30-minute on SPY. So I reloaded my puts for next week. So far it's playing out. It's playing out. Wait, I just have one last thing. Just give me a second because I don't want the market to close and I didn't have time to close my thing. NVDA. So yeah, this guy had a lot of questions, eh? He wants to learn, so yeah, he'd be good.
Yeah, I love it.
If he can comes to the series and then yeah, we'll make somebody new out of it.
That's another thing that helps is like me teaching you guys or helping you guys helps me learn even more because like you, Easy, you're more of a short player, and Kyle, he's more of a short player. You're trying to help you guys helps me be a better short player or get better in my short game.
Nice.
Just like you're not that good of a long player, but if the next guy, if he's a long player, you're probably gonna be like, oh, it's gonna help me get better at my long play, just like it did Lasagna Cat.
Thanks. I would love to learn, trust me. But right now, I think I'm gonna stick to the short because I like, I don't know. It's kind of, I think that's the kind of person I am. Like I like to be the devil's advocate, you know. When everybody's going one direction, I like to go the opposite view or to see what the opposite side have to offer.
Yep.
So I think I like it. Like I don't know if I'm having like little devil horn growing, but I like it. I like it.
I like the devil too because your setup is working for me, Easy. So thank you.
That's good.
Hail Satan.
But
Hail Satan.
it's more because when panic is setting up, yeah, people want to run out of the gate. So that's when I guess the short makes a lot of money there. So
yeah. You're capitalizing on fear.
Exactly.
Tackling easily.
So, all right. So let's start with my trades on Monday. Just to recap what happened on Monday. Monday was Columbus Day for you guys, and it was Thanksgiving for us here in Canada. So Canadian market was closed, blah, blah, blah. I think also the bond market was closed. So therefore, there wasn't a lot of action. And unfortunately, my wife was working from home on Monday. Well, I mean, no, she wasn't working. She was off on Monday. So all my trades, they were all red. And I guess it's because maybe I was trying to impress her. And then I don't know, she was like right beside me, like watching me, trade.
Oh,
and
shit.
I was trying to be smart or something. But yeah, it was red. But on the other hand, I knew to cut my loss very quickly. So it wasn't much of a red that I got. I even analyzed after the trades just to see what happened, and then I'm able to tell what I did wrong. So this is my Monday trade. On the first trade that I took it, market open at 9:30. The first one was between 9:45 and 9:50 here. I went short. Reason why I went short is because well, first of all, the market was green, right? Everything was green. I knew there wasn't much trade for me. The 5-minute was bullish. The 30-minute was bullish. I didn't check the hourly, but like I said, there wasn't much trade setting up for me, but I was trying to get maybe a pullback, so some quick trades. When I got into this trade here, if you're checking the RSI gave me the green light. So I went on the trade. I see here that I see the selling pressure. But at the same time, I'm waiting for one candle to be red. And on the second candle, that's when I entered. The trade went down, but then I was expecting it to break the 10 SMA. Again, I'm being cautious because I know the charts are bullish. Unfortunately, it did not play out. And then after that, I had to close it right here because this is my entry. I had to close it on that candle right here. That should be my stop loss. As soon as it reached it, I closed it right away. Like I said, I'm happy that I followed my rules. That 3 points, if not the high of the previous candle based on my entry. So now what I did wrong on that trade. So when I look at it, the RSI is okay. The MACD wasn't ready. Because like we spoke about, the MACD is a lagging indicator. So I'm noticing that I have to wait for the MACD to cross as well, because I have a bearish cross on the RSI, but the MACD, I haven't had the bearish cross yet. So I'm guessing
you had a bearish cross, but it was still in the bull zone.
And the bull zone. What do you mean by the bull zone?
Above the 50 RSI is a bull zone, a bullish.
Okay.
Bullish zone.
Yeah. Okay. Then yeah, like I said, it's something that I'm the whole week. It's something that I've been trying to say to myself, because remember, Semper, we talked about it last week. You're like, okay, yes, the RSI crossed, but the MACD hasn't crossed yet. And because the MACD hasn't crossed, sometimes what happened is that when it's pulled in, it just pushed back up.
Yep.
And then that's slowly and little by little, that's how it's chipping away from your profit or from your whatever. You're just watching the candle going against you. So yeah, that's kind of what I've been working on. So that was the first trade. Second trade, I'm like, okay, MACD is about to cross. Let me watch the MACD and everything. So I had the bearish cross on the RSI. MACD here, I see that it's closing. I'm like, you know what? Let me enter that trade. So I'm trying to be proactive, whatever, to go ahead or something.
Yep.
So I went in on that trade. It went down. So yeah, it went down. Did I close? Oh yeah. So whatever. Yeah, I guess I did the. Wait, did I close? No, actually, no. Okay, sorry. So yeah, I did get in the trade here. That's it. I got in that trade, but then it went against me. As soon as it went against me, I was like, "This is my entry candle. This one should be my out." So I waited for this candle. This candle should have been my out, but I'm like, okay, but it's still bearish and it's still bearish. But on the other hand, I knew that my 5-minute was bullish, my 30-minute was bullish, which is not my setup. So I was like, maybe I'm not gonna get that pullback. And then on the next candle, I closed it because again, it's you're just watching it, you know. I think Brendan calls that the death by 1,000 cuts. When you're just watching the candle going against you and you know it's past your stop loss, but it's going so slow that you think it's gonna reverse. So
How do you know your 5 minutes were bullish?
Was bullish.
Because you just said, because I'm looking here and I see you 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute. I don't see, you said, and I don't know what your lines are consisting of here, because you just said you.
Sure, I'll answer that one.
Go ahead.
Simple. Should I just answer it? I think I have.
Yeah.
I have a 5-minute here. There you go. I have a 5-minute chart here, right here. Okay, this is a 5-minute chart. Right here it says 5.
Yes.
So the reason why it's bullish is because based on my rules, I have the 10 SMA, which is the green line, over the 50 SMA. So when this is over the 50, that means it's bullish. So I shouldn't trade short when it's going bullish. I should play long.
But then back on the 1 minute chart, you said that you did, right? And that's why it didn't go your way, is what you think.
Exactly. But on the 1 minute, I was saying that I don't have a play today. I don't have a play on the 5. I don't have a play on the 30 either. But again, my wife was right on my shoulder, breathing on my neck. I was just trying to take a trade not to take a trade to impress her. Like I said, I was trying to get the pullbacks, at least something. But I was being cautious because I knew that the 5-minute wasn't for me and the 30-minute wasn't for me either. So that's why I had to close out that trade. I closed it at a loss.
So this is all in one day. This is you said this whole thing right here is the right. Okay.
Yeah, all happened on the 9th. So that was Monday. Like I said, Monday market was acting weird. Wasn't the best day or whatever. But then again, I shut it off and then that's it. That's it. I just went and play Mortal Kombat that day. That's all. Okay, so Sempre, do you have anything to mention? That was my first trade. I didn't trade much on Monday.
Yeah, see this volume beat right here? Nothing came close. Nothing came close. The way this one, but that's way too late. Another thing is this is not a pullback high.
Correct. That's not a pullback. Yeah, correct.
It's a pullback, but that's for a long play. That's a pullback low. You know. So remember, pullback high would have been over here, like here, like that. Like this one was a pullback high, right?
Mm-hmm.
But remember, it's not a pullback high because it's in the uptrend. I don't know if it was before.
Correct.
But it's in the uptrend. So you're not going to get a pullback high. So just be cautious of that. And then one of the big things that happens right here is right here, there was orders right here. Orders right there. These orders right here are shorts trying to get in, right? And they got in. Some of them got in and it caused this, right?
Mm-hmm.
But see right here, once you get over that wick, guess what happens? It squeezes up because that's where the sellers put their stop, is right here, like a tick or two above that wick.
Mm-hmm.
So once price action goes up in that area, it's gonna cause a pop up, because what do sellers have to do? to get out, they have to buy their stop.
Yeah, they have to
So it's
cover.
gonna cause this pop. Same thing goes for over here. Is these stops get eaten up by the short players getting in right here, right? And then these stops get taken out because the buyers are right here and they didn't get full, so they got FOMO, and then their stop hit. Their stop hits, it causes this.
Yeah.
So be cautious because this right here, remember this is a block. So this is the over under level. Above this, it might squeeze up. Below this, it's gonna dump down. So you could have got in a better position over here because it's closer to the. Look at how far when you got in over here. Look at how far the space is between the 10.
That's right. I noticed that too late, unfortunately.
And then
What would have been
here,
the indicator? What would have been if you were like, again, it's always easy looking back, but okay, so here the day's going on. You got over your wife trying to do whatever, because the big play on this particular sequence is those 1, 2, 3, 4 red bars, right?
Yeah, right here.
You would have loved, right? Okay, so what would you say was the indicator before then? Because in order to get that, you would have to be able to see that at the green candle before it or the green candle before it. The last two green candles. What would it have told you? Okay, I should buy in. I should get a short.
Divergence. Right here, you got RSI divergence.
Where?
But
Okay.
was still
Yep.
going up. So the RSI, you get the RSI cross right there. You get the MACD cross right there.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. A little bit behind it, but not much, right?
The
Okay,
the RSI will always give you a hint before price action moves in that direction. So you got
That's
the cross right here. Look, you got the cross on that green candle.
Yeah.
Right there.
Okay.
You know you have divergence. The MACD will cross like 1 or 2 candles after, and that's what
Right.
happens. See, 1 or 2
Right. So
candles.
you have a in essence a 3 confirmation, right? You got the big volume green, and then you got the RSI cross, right? Those are 2 close to the same time, but there's 2 indicators. Then the next indicator would have been the MACD, and then you're like, okay, based upon what I think it's going to go short. So boom, you buy in some shorts, and okay, so let's say we determine our entry point. Okay, how do we know where our exit point is? Because if you sold at the second line, right? If you sold there though, you still have some on the table. That's still not a bad trade, but yes, that's what would be my call, right? If I buy, again, it's very easy looking back, easy. So I don't know I forgot who was speaking, but it's very easy to call now because it's right. But no, I'm just saying.
These are things that we point out after, but the main thing of us calling it out after or critiquing your trade, no matter what it is for you to take the lessons or the tips or the things that we saw, is for you to journal or write them down or somehow remember them. So like that, when you see another play like this, you'll be like, okay, either I'm gonna wait for this to happen, or I'm not gonna take the trade.
Right. So you could even say it had a 4th signal, right? When it crossed that green line up at the top on the second red candle.
Exactly.
That's the 4th signal.
That would have been his 3rd signal, because it would have been right here. One right here, because you got the divergence. So you're already thinking top out.
No, but I considered the green volume level 1, right below it, the RSI 2, the cross of the MACD 3, and then dropping below. I don't know what that green is. That an SMA? So that'd be 4, right? SMA. Right. So you got the volume 1, the RSI 2, the crossing of the MACD 3, and then the crossing of the 10 MSA 4 signals to buy a put.
But the volume was green, so that it would need to be red for it to be a confirmation down.
Okay. Thank you.
It would need to be a red volume beat like this one. Like after you seen that, I was like, oh shit, sellers might be in control, right? Because they beat out this one. Because nothing, look at all the green right there. No other green came close to any of these right here. Or no other red
Right.
got close.
Right. Okay. So then, yeah. So then the day's going on. Oh, look at so the first would be the RSA cross, and then you see the MACD cross. Okay, you got two
Yep.
signals. Then it crosses the 10 MSA SMA, right? So then that's your third quote. We say buy, but you're buying a put, right? You're buying the down, and then you get out when it crosses. What's that reddish one? That other one that you pointed
That's
to.
a 50 SMA.
So it crosses the 10, you buy plus other two signals, and then you sell there. Now, is that good money? What did someone just make?
That would be 7.
That's very good money.
That would be 7 points. If he
Okay.
entered right here at the break of the 10 to right here,
Yes.
it's 7 points.
Yes. Okay,
That's
so there. So
really
okay.
good money.
Right. So that's. But again, I tried to determine. Okay, how could he have gotten that, or how could we have gotten that? What are our indicators and our confirmation to say, okay, I feel pretty good about that. I personally would like to have one more stronger one. I would like to put my deviation chart against this and try to find out.
But this is Easy's B grade setup. The reason why we say B grade setup is because his A grade setup is when the 10 is below the 50 SMA, and then he gets a pullback. Let's say this is a pullback. Let's say that candle's not there.
I also have an example of that when we get, I think, the trade that I took yesterday and today.
Good. Yeah, let's see that. So good. I'm just learning, fellas. I appreciate it.
No worries. Thanks for the questions. But that's his B grade setup. So this B grade setup doesn't have a high probability of it working out in his favor. And that's why these didn't work out, because that's just his B grade setup. His B grade setup doesn't work. His A grade setup works probably 80 or 90% of the time. The bad thing is you have to be patient for that A grade setup.
Patient as hell.
Hell yeah.
But patience pays off.
Like
Tell me that ain't true. Tell me that ain't true.
Big, like 20
Patience
points,
off.
big.
Patience pays off. And when trust me, we've all been there. You get that, you start to see, oh, it's gonna go down, and you start to get that itchy trigger finger. You're like, and you hit sell, and you're like, oh fuck, it just went against me. That's why he has his grade A setup, and then he has his B grade setup.
And it's really true, because like over here, like the blue square, those candles opened underneath the 10 SMA as well, and they didn't work out. And they even had down here in this square, they had a MACD cross to the downside. So it's like, just so Kelsey, like, coming in, it's like it's the patience plus really getting used to what you like to look at. Because like, if I was looking in this whole area here, like I would have seen like this high and a little bit of a lower high, and then this opening here, and then this MACD cross, and yet like it still didn't work out. So it's like it's also just a matter of you spending time with your setup, because like this week in particular, like my setup didn't work out a couple times, and I analyzed it afterwards, and it's still sometimes really mysterious, even though I played it so many times,
But one of the biggest rules that you have to get used to is that sometimes your play is not going to work out.
Yep,
And
that's it.
reading, if you want to read a book or listen to Audible, go listen to Trading in the Zone. That's going to be like, you have to accept the fact that just like when you go to work, you're not guaranteed that you're going to have an easy day at work, right? It's not guaranteed that every play is going to work out on trading. It's not guaranteed. Even in the military, you're not going to guarantee that you're going to have a good day or a shitty day at work.
Oh, never.
So it's the same thing over here. Like, hey, yes, you have a win rate of 90% of 90%, but you still have to accept the fact that your setup might only work 50% of the time. You have to come to that conclusion. Is once you accept
You have to accept it.
once you accept that, you can let the rest of the shit go. And the biggest thing about accepting that is that you're able to reset and play again in the next 10, 15 minutes. Because I've been
Yeah.
in the place where I didn't accept that and I bag held and I blew up my account, or I took a big loss and then I'm revenge trading. You don't want to be in both of those. You don't want to revenge trade and you don't want to bag hold. Those are two of the biggest rookie mistakes new traders make.
Yeah. So that's why they
So-
say it's very important. When your setup doesn't work, cut it off. Just cut your loss. That's it. Don't hold, don't pray, don't hope. Just cut it off. So
Yep.
I have my rule, which is 3 points. 3 points based on my entry. 3 points. If it's going 3 points against me, I'll just close it off. If not, the second thing that I'm trying to follow, I'll say it's really when I enter the trade, it's the previous candle high would be my exit, just like Semper taught me. But even though on the other hand, I do realize sometimes, they're trying to fake you out or whatsoever. But again, later on, you'll be able to judge that. But I'm trying to respect these two rules. I stop out either because it's 3 points. If not, the second thing, I stop out because it's the previous candle high. That's it.
Now, in the
Yeah.
midst of this, though, I'm just throwing this out there, gang. I would have another screen that, or at least pull it up. What is a SPY? Where's a SPY at? Right?
We all do.
Yeah.
Most of
That
us.
would be, to me, that would be another strong indicator. Like what did Brandon and Connor say? What do they think is going to happen, right? And that actually may have even triggered the original buy. I'm just saying, but that's another. I think that's another indicator on using this method.
The other indicator we use is VIX. That's something that Brandon always uses, and that's something that me and Lasagna Cat always use. Easy, I'm not sure if he uses it, but he probably pays attention to Brandon. And we use a dollar and we use a bond. Those are the three that we use. So SPY, VIX, dollar, and bond.
Dollar and bond.
Yep. So it's
I never use a dollar and bond. I've looked at the VIX, but I haven't and a SPY, but I've never used a dollar and bond. But okay, that's good.
Yeah, the dollar is a TNX, or that's a bond. The bonds is TNX. The dollar that we use, you can either use UUP or DXY. We like using UUP, but you can use whatever.
Okay, UUP?
Yep, UUP.
Okay.
But yeah. Oh, and when you say confirmation, we call catalyst. You know how you said you want to get a third confirmation? We get a confirmation off of price action when price action, like right here, confirmed his 50 confirmation. And then we call these, the indicators, catalysts, or the volume. We call those catalysts, which help you confirm your forecast. Just so we're not, you understand the lingo that we use here is, okay, we use indicators as catalysts, which could be confirmation too, because it could tag the 50 RSI, and that's your confirmation short. If it tags the 50 SMA, right? That's two confirmations. But it's also, RSI is a catalyst.
Yeah, given the definitions of words, right? Yeah. Confirmation would be, I'm confirming what I think. A catalyst would be something that boosts, right? Yep. There's two different definitions, right? A catalyst would be something that boosts something's up, and a confirmation is meaning, okay, that's what we're gonna do. All right, let's look at his win. This is your win, bro?
Yeah. Yeah, this is this is the next day. So on the next day, the 10th. So that was Tuesday. So on Tuesday, I took this trade. It was based on the 5-minute chart. So the 5-minute chart is showing bearish. This is my was it short win 5 minute, right? Or maybe it wasn't. Anyway, so yeah, so my win, yeah, it was a win. I know something was bearish. I don't remember which chart it was. Maybe the 15-minute, but I'm not sure. But on this one, this is the move that I was able to capture. So I was watching the 5 minute. And then I remembered the previous day, the errors or the mistake that I made. I'm like, okay, so remember, so I have to wait for my MACD to be closed. I have to remember also for my RSI to cross. And lastly, something that I often forget, I'm trying to remember that price action need to be closer to the 10 SMA or to the line, all right, to the moving average. So these are things that I was keeping in mind before taking on that trade. So that's my 5 minute. That's how the 5 minute looks like, okay? So now let's go back to the 1 minute where I took the entry. On this one, I waited. That was my first trade of the day. The market opened at 9:30. I'm taking a trade. The trade that I'm taking is around 12 o'clock. So like 3 hours after the market opened. On this one, all right, so let's verify here. So I have my indicator. I have my bearish cross right here on the RSI. And then later on, that's when I had my bearish cross on the MACD. So then I wait for price to break the moving averages. Usually I do wait for it to break the 10 SMA and then that little pullback high. So on this one, I entered right here. And then my stop was right above here on that section. So I entered at 44.14, and also Semper, you had told me to increase my my contract size. Yeah, so that was the first time I think that I tried to enter with 8 contracts. So I was trying to be mindful of that because I know that emotion will be all over the place because that's a lot of money moving around.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I entered on that trade, and then since then, so I did waited for it to break the 50 SMA. Price never closed above, and then I just wrote it down. So I was just waiting on it, but at the same time, my target was on the 5 minute because remember it was a 5 minute trade. So my target was here, the 50 SMA on the 5 minute. All right, so 10 points down. So then, yeah, and sooner or later, I just held on to it, whatever, even though a lot of money was moving around. I was trying not to panic, but I did want it to see how much money is moving. You know, when you up $300, 4, 5, and then you down $600, $700, $800, whatever. But I was just still respecting the amount of points I had in mind. 3 points up, you have to close it. Or if not, if it breaks that level, you still have to close it. And we had a big red candle. As soon as we got it, I locked in 6 out of the 8 contract right here. So that was a 10-point win.
So what does that mean in terms of money? How much money did he just make? Because I don't know your guys' system quick enough.
Well, on this one it's easy. So 1 point is $50. So 10 point, 10 times 5. So it's that simple.
Nice.
So on that big drop, I close I'll call it 80% of my position. And then I was just keeping 2 for the ride, and then just to see what happened. I was trying to target this one, the 666. Well,
remember?
Yeah, exactly.
Remember when price action breaks a level, I always have to come back and retest that level.
That's correct. Yeah.
To gain more.
But the level that it break, wasn't it? Here. Is it the 50 that it break?
No, because it was already broken over here.
Exact.
It broke it over there, so then the next level to break is a 100, which broke it right there. So then it retests it. When it's so close, it's gonna retest this, right, or whatever moving average, and then it's gonna go down to this level. Okay, it's either gonna tag it or smash through it. Like it smashed through it. Once it smashes through that level, the next logical thing is to pull back to that level to confirm for it to go down to this level. You got to take it in stages. You know, you can't shoot for this if it hasn't even broken this. But once it breaks that, then it can. Just be cautious because it could start creating lower highs and go this way, right?
Correct,
but with the 50 SMA being so steep, it's not going to reverse right here. It's probably going to chop it down, maybe go down, shy the 666, and then start reversing up.
Okay. All right.
So would you have held? Now going back, would you have held longer those last two, and you had waited for that last drop at the, like he just said, if it's going to retest, but then if it was going to go down, I don't know if you can remember, like what was it showing on the SPY? What? In other words, now let's see so you bought back, you still made more money, right? Because it went from 44.14 down to 43.99, right? You still made money. It was still lower than your original buyback at 44.04, right? But would you have waited? Now going back in time again, would you have waited? Because I wonder where the market went in the next 5 or 10 minutes or 20 minutes.
The thing that I've been trying to teach Easy is lock in 75.
Yes, yeah. Take the money. No, I would have, yep, absolutely.
And then attach the rest, like these two contracts, you could have attached it to a moving average right here. So it moves. So it moves with the moving average. And that's one of the greatest things that NinjaTrader does. You can attach it to a moving average. So if this moving average would have came all the way down here and price action was still here and then it hit, he would have stopped out right there.
Gotcha.
And still caught to play, right? Or let me lock in right here, right? Let me lock it in, because you don't need to hold the whole time. And that's like a scalper mentality. Okay, let me lock it in right here. Let me see what it does. Okay, if it's gonna come back over here and retest, create his A grade setup, because it's the 10 is below the 50 SMA. It's coming to create a lower high off the 50 SMA right here. He could have re-entered again right here.
Yes.
And then guess what? Guess what his target would have been over here?
This one.
Yeah. Right. That's going. Yeah.
And
so that's
another 10
okay.
points. And caught another 10 or 7 points.
Yep.
Or if you have the brass balls to hold all the way through, then go right ahead. All of us are gonna have a different mentality, a different tolerance of, okay, am I willing to risk this much money, or am I willing to, if you have 10 grand in your account and I have 50, I'm probably just gonna hold into a hits over here, and I'm gonna attach a moving average over here, But he's got 10 grand, he's gonna lock it in right here and see what happens. So that also plays into your psychology. Do I have 50 grand or do I have 10 grand? Remember, if you have 10 grand, you're going to be more cautious of your money. You're going to be protecting it more. So you want to protect your capital. So you want to protect your gains too. But if you have 50 grand and another grand ain't going to hurt me, then, you can hold long. But me, I'm the type of player that I'll lock in right here and I'll see, okay, is it going to confirm right here and then go down? Or is it going to create a lower high and a higher low and then go up? And that, because we can never predict the market, but we can try to forecast the market. And the way the moving averages are crossing right here, I would say most likely it came back down over here. And then maybe decided once it tags a 666, then they can start reversing. Hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah. So that was that's it. That was the only trade that I took that day on this one.
The only critique that I have is you should have entered on this candle right here.
Which one?
The pullback high.
Yep. You're still getting on the pullback, or not even a pullback. Which is understandable if you entered on the 5 minute, but this is where I was trying to teach you on the 1 minute is okay. Your 1 minute's a grade A setup, right? So now you got to look for a pullback high when it pulls back into the 10 SMA or the 50. But this is your grade A setup on your 1 minute. And if your 5 minute was your grade A setup, then your 1 minute's gonna work out.
Yeah, let me just see the 5 minute again.
But other than that, you're good. See how the 10 SMA lines up with your 50 SMA on your 1 minute? Look for that.
The 10 SMA lines up with the 50 SMA on the 1 minute.
See how you entered right here, the 10? It broke the 10, right? And if you go back to your 1 minute, it broke the 50. But not only that, you have the 10 crossing the 50 right there.
Okay.
But But look, you got your grade A setup, pull back to the 50 SMA. Pull back high, with the lower high.
Correct.
lower high.
Then my
So-
entry would have been here on that red candle.
Yep, that would have been your primo entry right there,
Okay.
which is still kind of the same. I'm just telling you.
Mhm. No. Of course. I mean, I do
coulda
take note. I
reversed
do
up,
take note.
right? It could have reversed
Exact.
up right there, but this way you have a nice little red candle. You got, you're going with it.
Yeah. But on this one, like I said, unfortunately, I don't remember because on the 5 minute, like even the 5 minute is bullish, right? So I was just expecting a pullback. It's just a pullback that I wanted to get to take. But like I think if I'm not mistaken, it pushed back up after whatever, like maybe tag the 100 EMA and then push back in the other direction.
But one of the biggest things that I noticed when I was trying to time it for you is the 10 SMA on the 5 minute will line up with the 50 SMA on the 1 minute. Not, like I said, not exactly to the penny.
Yeah.
But you can say, okay, this is a 10 SMA. Let me see what the 1 minute looks like. Okay, it lines up with the 50. Let me take a trade off the 50 on the 1 minute.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I mean, I'll pay more attention to that on next week just to see how these two correlate.
Yeah,
the 10 SMA.
It'll definitely help you with your
SMA.
timing.
Perfect. 5 minutes, and then that was the 1 minute, and then after that we fall on which day is that? The 13. And the 13, which was today. Oh yeah, wait, what? That's it? Oh yeah, okay. So yeah, today I had a bad entry on this one, but then I knew this day would be a red day because I had my A+ set up on the daily time frame instead of a 5, 15, 30 minutes, but that was on the daily time frame. So it was a huge freaking swing, but it turned out I was right. Like my entry is awful. Like I'm waiting for you to bash me up on this one. But yeah, I was able to capture. Yeah, I think I captured maybe almost 30 points on this one, if I'm not mistaken. Because what happened is that play, I played it out last night. And last night, I realized that's exactly what happened yesterday. And then if ever that play represents itself, I have to take it. It's my A+ setup on the daily. And on the daily, it's like a 40 point, just this move. But it played out today, and then I was able to get in. Bad entry, but then I did capitulate big on it.
You could have used your B grade. You could have used your B grade setup on this one. So right here, look, you got a lower high, the break of the 10 right here.
Yeah.
You could have entered right here because you got your MACD cross, and you already had your RSI cross right here.
Yeah.
Not only that, but there's a red volume beat right here. The consolidation zone right here. There was that red volume beat.
Yeah, but to put you into context, what happened is that this trade, like, because also it's Friday, right? I don't want to trade on Friday. I was just trying to take one trade, but then I saw the A+ setup. I was like, okay, I'm for sure going to take it. So I was just waiting for it to set up. So I got in this trade pre-market, and I usually don't like to hold a trade when market open. Like I was being mindful of it. I was like, do I close it, and then just try to time it for a better entry later on? But here, this is my pullback high, because on the 5 minute, the 5 minute was bearish. And this is the break of the 50, of the 10, sorry. And then this is the pullback high. And then, like I said, I did try to respect all the freaking rules that I have.
Nice.
So I have my bearish cross on the RSI. I have my bearish cross on the MACD. And then I waited for it to break. And then I'm like, I'm going to enter on the pullback high. So as soon as I got it, then that's when I entered. And on this one, I was like, okay, market's about to open. For sure, they're going to pop it. But like, not for sure they're going to pop it. I mean, market's going to open. And then, you have that big wick candle that can go either whatever direction. Yep. I was hoping for that candle to just go on the bearish side, to be a big red candle. But unfortunately, it went up, but then it's not pushing that much. But I was being mindful of it. Like I said, I was even down, if I'm not mistaken, 10 points on it. Yeah, I was down 10 points on it. But then again, the only reason why I held that one was because it's a play on the daily. I know this move have a bigger range than a 5 minute or than a 1 minute play. But yeah, like I said, I was convinced. And then that's one of the things that I'm trying to do is whenever my setup shows up, especially if it's my A+ setup, I have to take it, regardless of what whoever says. Let's say on the group, like when Brendan is talking, Connor is talking, I'm just trying to focus on my setup whenever it happens.
Yep.
So,
Kelsey, that's one of the biggest things that we stress here too, is have your strategy, whether it's standard debt, with all gonna be Connor's or Brandon's strategy, right? But we all see the chart a different way. And you need to stick to your plan. Stick to your rules, stick to your plan. No matter what.
Does his A+ setup work in the pre-market? That would be my question in seeing this, right?
Yes,
So
it
you
does.
took it in the pre-market. The A+, so it says the A+ works in the pre-market.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And also FYI right here, I didn't want it to close all the position because I saw that it was going the right position from the right direction. I was like happy about it, and then starting to celebrate. And then here I wanted to lock in some profit because it was hitting the 200 EMA.
Yep.
But then unfortunately I closed everything. I'm like shit. But then I knew it was a bigger move that I was expecting, so I re-entered right away. But that's just to say that, yeah, that was like not a typo, but yeah, I double click it instead of, I wanted to close like majority of the position, but not everything. So I re-clicked again just to buy it. And then because also if you were one thing I was paying attention, the chart was doing a lower high, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. So I know it was in the right direction. That's why I didn't want it to get out of this move. That's it.
No, I've been there where I was like, oh shit, still have strength to continue going down, and got back in.
Yeah.
You could have got back in over here. Your grade A setup there.
True, but I was afraid. I was afraid to miss out on it because I was like, what if it just freaking keep going down or just keep pushing? So that's the only reason I get back in.
Yeah.
But then
you have a couple other opportunities to get in right here, here if you really wanted to, or right there with the stop above here. But yeah, that's awesome. And now you know that your daily chart works. So when it lines up on your daily, remember the longer time frames will always supersede the shorter time frames. Whether that's a 4 hour superseding the 30-minute, you just gotta see what your tolerance is. If you can tolerate, if you're playing the 4 hour chart and you can tolerate a 4 hour candle, then fade the 4 hour. But if you can't tolerate the 4 hour, 4 hour is gonna tell you, okay, it's gonna continue going on the 30-minute or the 5, 15-minute, whatever you follow. Even though the 1 minute is bullish, the 4 hour is bearish. What do you think is gonna happen? It's gonna pop up because the 1 minute is bullish, but it's probably gonna pop up to a significant level where it's gonna turn bearish, and then it's gonna be bearish because the 4 hours bearish.
That's right. That's what I noticed last night, because last night I was replaying like yesterday's action, and I was trying to time perfectly or whatever to see where I could have gotten in on that big drop that happened yesterday. And then I noticed that it happened on the 30-minute chart. So that's where I had to drag it down to. So my entry would have been on the 30-minute chart. That's that's what I noticed.
Yeah, and this would be a perfect spot where you can attach the trail stop with like 2 or 3 ticks above the 10 SMA and just ride it. Of course, after you lock in right here or whatever. Once you lock in there, then be like, all right, I'm just gonna attach it right here with 2 or 3 or 4 ticks above the 10 SMA, see what happens, and lock her in. But awesome trade. You went from catching 1 to 2 points to catching 25.
I'm freaking loving it.
Something's working, right? Something's working.
Oh yeah, I'm freaking loving it. I'm loving it. So, all right. So now I want to know, what am I going to work on? What's next for me?
Just keep on practicing your timing. Remember, you still got a couple of issues where you're getting in on the pullback low instead of over here on the pullback high.
Okay.
Practice that and just try to nail 10 points.
10 points. Okay.
Try
Perfect.
to nail 10 points. But you remember, you want to try to expand that 4 to 6, unless it's a counter trend. Remember, if it's a counter trend, reduce your
3-4
points. 4 to 6,
Yeah.
3 to 5. Reduce it because you're not a long player. So if there's a long day, don't look for a big, huge short play. Unless there's data. And just keep paying attention to the market psychology. Remember, I always tell you, what's price action doing before data? What's price action doing before power hour? And then you told me we have a 10, the 350 indicator. What happens the last 10 minutes of the market? What's happening up to the 10 minutes up to the market? Because that's when it gets real volatile, right? If it's moving up at 12:45 and it's moving up, and then it hits 12:50 or 3:50 on your time, what's most likely going to happen? It's either going to keep grinding up into the bell. As soon as they hear the bell, it's going to dump.
Yeah.
Or 10 minutes before. Start learning the characteristics. That's the next.
Okay.
That's your next step. These last 3 weeks, learn the characteristics of SPY, of ES. I really want you to study like after hours. Okay, price action opens up inside the body of the previous day. What's going to happen? Is it going to go up to the half candle retrace? Or is it going to continue dumping? Because the way that I look at it, the way that I look at futures, and it's kind of fitting, is it opens on Sunday, right? Before SPY opens on Monday, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the futures contracts give you a future outlook as to what might happen on Monday. So if you like today, once the daily is finished, and that's another bonus, Kelsey, is you see how the market is closed. SPY is closed. The market's closed. You can't trade no more, right? You can't trade SPY no more. But guess what? You can still trade ES all the way till 145. Unless you have money, you can swing it. But you can still trade it until 145. Usually volume and everything just dies down and it just starts trading sideways.
Yeah. Trickles.
But you can still, you're like, oh, fuck, I got to close. If you're trading regular stocks, you're like, fuck, I got to close before 1 p.m. or else I'm going to be stuck holding it overnight. ES is not like that. ES, you either have the money to swing it. If you don't, you'll get margin called. They'll close the trade for you and charge you $25 for the first time, $50 every time after that. Or you can swing it.
Yeah, but if you swing it, don't. For instance, let's say you're down 5,000, but if you think it's going to come back, right? And you could quote unquote put 5,000 into your account, hold it till it opens up again, and then if it goes up or if it goes in your direction, right, your benefit, then you get your 5,000 back. You never had to, because you're telling me is that at the end of the day they're going to margin call you. You want to hold it, you got to put the funds in there, and then the next day you're very confident that it's going to come back, right?
Yeah.
So put the money in there, it comes back, you win, and that'd be the only other way. But I kind of like that. I got a little. Thinkorswim used to have a little. It would give you a little message that said, "We're going to margin call you because you're way down." So you would have to. I had my money was all in different stocks. I would have to sell the other stocks in order to make sure I don't get margin called. To keep the 25, right? You got to have over 25,000 to keep day trading.
Yep.
So that's what I did.
No, that's
Mhm.
that's something about futures that has a lot of benefits to it. If you're able to hold and swing it, then swing for the fences. But if you're trading ES, you would need close to 50 grand
In your account.
in your account.
Yeah.
If you're trading MES, then yeah, you would just need like 10 grand or 50 or 5 grand or whatever it is. Because that's another thing, a little nuance is when it's real volatile, like CPI and all that, the margin requirement goes up. So instead of being like 1100 for micro, it'll be like 1300, 1200. And if you have under $200, they probably won't let you trade until after the data comes up.
Right.
So just be aware. If you have any questions about that, hit me up or anybody in the.
I will. I'm gonna get a little bit more knowledge about futures market. I'm gonna watch videos this weekend.
But it can
Watch you guys up. Go ahead.
just be very careful because it can become very addicting. And that's
Mhm.
something that Easy had to deal with because he was trading like he would take like 20 trades in one day. I was like, whoa, that's way too much. Way too much. You should max be only trading 4 to 5 times. Max. You should be only
That's
trading that.
that's also this week. The reason why I didn't take that many trade is because due to the amount of contract that I'm taking, I'm more than meeting my daily target. I'm meeting even my weekly target after a trade. So
Yep.
it make me trade less because I was reaching my target, and I was like, all right, tomorrow's another day. That's it.
Okay, so what is this considered right here? Is this considered one trade? Because you got one sell,
Yep.
buy, right? So this is this considered one trade? Because I would view that as multiple trades.
It's only one trade because you only
yeah.
entered once.
Okay, he sold
because he only entered over here, but
yeah.
he's scaling out. Well, it's 2 trades because remember he said that he closed
bought
out
back
here
in,
and
yeah.
he bought back in, so it's actually
Right.
2 trades. But if it was only one trade, he would scale out there, and scale out there for a total of one big trade.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
So it's called scaling out, but yeah, but most people traders would call it one trade. Normal people call it 3 or 4 trades, but it's not. It's only one, or in this case, 2.
Yeah, 2. Yeah, the 8 original and then the second buy-in. Okay.
Yeah. Yep. So, yeah. So we'll stop the recording there, and if you guys have any questions,
Thank you. So next week, same action. I'm gonna, and then after that, how many weeks do I have left?
2 more after this.